Good morning, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 31st of January, the last day of January already, and we have probably the favourite lineup of news articles I think I've done in a long time. Today is a massive day for crypto. A new star is about to be born, and that star is Jupiter. We are going to go through what Jupiter is. We're going to go through how it's come about. We're going to answer some questions. I've had a lot of questions about Jupiter. I've had a lot of questions messaged to me on Telegram. I've had them sent on video streaming platforms. I've had them everywhere. I'm going to try and answer as many of them as possible. And at the end, I'm going to give you not a price prediction, but price predictions. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen over the next probably 3 or 4 weeks to do with that. We're going to go through some Bitcoin news. We're going to take a look at the $15,000 portfolio. I've not done it for a few weeks. We've created a portfolio that we want to get to $1 million over a couple of cycles. And we started with $15,000 at the beginning of last year. And we're going to go through what's in that portfolio and why it's there. We're also going to look at Visa and the SEC have admitted defeat, but it's a little bit more sinister than that. So we're going to have a look at that as well. And then at the end of all of that, we're going to have a quiz. It's going to be a busy day. So if you want to know all about Jupiter, if you want to know what's going to happen, it's going to be listed on every major exchange today. Every exchange is listing Jupiter today. The final confirmation of the big one came through about 2 or 3 hours ago. I posted it into the Telegram group, so everybody should now know where it's going to be listed. And the question today is, are we going to get another run at $44,000 today, or are we going to retrace? That's the news. Remember, Chairman Powell and the Fed are meeting. We're going to get some kind of announcement on rate hikes, rate cuts, freezing, whatever it's going to be. That could possibly have caused the markets to wobble a little bit. A few shout outs. Good morning to Hidden Agendas. Mags is here, Richard is here, and Kishan is here. So remember, this is a two-way stream. This is not a recorded stream. I am actually on the other end of this microphone. So make sure to say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I will be dropping boxes throughout the show, but I'm not going to be dropping them every 5 minutes because there is a lot to go through. So first of all, we're going to have a quick look at the market. We are coming in at 42.6, 42.7-ish. We've been around that price this morning. We're going to go through the Bitcoin chart. I think I'll bring it up for a couple of minutes. Market cap is down a little bit. Volume is up. Bitcoin dominance is still at 51%. ETH dominance is slowly ticking back up. Remember, it was at 21% not long ago. It's now at 17%. I think that will make a move up, especially with the ETF rumours that are doing the rounds. Again, as I said yesterday, it's either going to happen very quickly, May, June possibly, or it's not going to happen at all, and it will be next year. It's going to be one or the other. Let's see where we get to. In terms of 24-hour gainers and 24-hour losers, it never really updates properly, CoinMarketCap. The one fault with it. So Pi is up, Chainlink is up, Ron is up, or Ronin should I say, Flare, Render, ETH Classic, not too many gainers. And losers again, there's a few more losers than winners today. Manta, Blur, Bonk is down. Bonk is taking a bit of a hammering, I must admit. I do think, however, that in the bull run, we should be expecting Bonk to have a good run, simply because at this moment in time, it's the biggest Solana meme coin. Will Wen challenge Bonk? That's the question, but that's a question for a different show. Now, we've only got a few X-Files today because most of the show is probably going to be taken up by the portfolio and the Jupiter price, so I'm not going to spend too long on this. Good morning, Tariq. Nice to see you in chat. Nice to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing well. Just now, either that tweet has been deleted There we go. The SEC has just filed a brief case saying that it intends to dismiss the lawsuit against this company. We're going to talk about it in more depth in a minute. The SEC is choosing dismissal rather than face possible sanctions from the judge for misleading the court in order to secure a restraining order and asset freeze against Debtbox. So, let's just clarify this. The SEC has lied in court. I don't know how much more damning that is about the SEC, but that is pretty scary stuff, and we are going to get into that in a minute. That was just a bit of an update from it. Another incredible update is that BlackRock and Fidelity, between them, now hold over 100,000 Bitcoin. It only launched 3 weeks ago, and they've already got to 0.5% of Bitcoin circulating supply already. We covered the fact that BlackRock had 50,000 Bitcoin only a few days ago. Now the top two have over 100,000. By the end of this year, it's conceivable that we are looking at 500,000 Bitcoin being held by these ETFs. Are we going to see 1 million the following year? We're getting to the point where the demand for Bitcoin is going to so extremely outpace supply that we are going to have a blow off top. Now, I don't know when that's going to be. It could be the end of next year, could be the beginning of next year, could be end of this year. We don't know. But these ETFs are sucking the life out of the exchanges. There's not going to be enough Bitcoin left on exchanges for people to buy. And that only means one thing: it becomes a seller's market. And once that happens, the price will rocket. So, an exec at a $35 billion investment firm says that crypto is having its iPhone moment. Here's what he means. Chris Dixon at Andreessen Horowitz says that the crypto industry may be approaching its iPhone phase of adoption. This is where I'm old enough to remember this. This is where we went from bricks to smartphones, and it happened pretty much instantaneously. It happened in such a short space of time that nobody saw it coming, but nobody really understood the impact of these smartphones when they happened. So this was in the mid-2000s when the iPhone finally delivered a product that would eventually lead to mass adoption. After the iPhone caught on, the industry reached a sweet spot where a barrage of highly popular apps were all developed for mobile users within a short space of time. I was there for the early iPhone application wave, and what happened is you had a 13-year period of people trying to create smartphones. The iPhone came out in 2007, and smartphone innovation in Silicon Valley began 15 years before the iPhone, like general magic. There was a bunch of people trying to create smartphones. We're not going to go through all of this. The point of this is, and we've said it time and time again on this channel, I was around at the beginning of the internet, and the one way to describe that was it was nowhere, then everywhere at once. I have said that probably 20 times over the last year on this channel, and it's true, and there is no simpler way to explain that that is what is going to happen to crypto. It is nowhere, it is not in the public conscious, it doesn't exist in their thought process from one week to the next. It is nowhere, and then with the flick of a switch, it's everywhere all at once. Whether that be the ETFs advertising at the Super Bowl, which is going to happen, whether it's some exchanges sponsoring stadiums, whether it's all the stadiums in America being sponsored by the different exchanges, whether it be Solana selling its Saga phone. Are we going to see new phones coming out? Is the new iPhone going to have a built-in wallet? It's going to happen. It's one of those things where you call somebody a 15-year overnight success. Crypto has been trying for the last 15 years to get adoption and regulation. It's getting adoption, but it's going to get to a tipping point, and then it's going to be everywhere. And you're going to get people coming up to you and saying, you know about crypto, or you know about Bitcoin, or what's this about Bitcoin, or should I buy Solana? And we are almost there. Maybe another year, maybe another 2 years, but we're almost there. And we're going to go from 800 or 900 million people to 2 billion people, to 4 billion people, and it's going to be exponential. And that's when I think the price of crypto is going to catch everybody by surprise. I said yesterday there's lots of projects that are going to fail, and they're going to fail because they just don't get adopted. They don't generate the critical mass to stay alive. Some of these layer ones that we talk about, the SUIs and the SEIs of the world, without adoption, they're going to die. Look at Phantom, the Phantom chain, nobody ever talks about it. The Tron network. The Tron network's got massive volume. I don't know who uses it, in all honesty. But there are certain chains like Ethereum and Solana and Cardano, Bitcoin obviously, they're going to be here for the future. They're going to be here in 5 and 10 years time. Some are not, but if you go back 24 years, 25 years to when the internet first started, this is what happened then. There were companies you've never heard of that existed for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years, that just didn't make the cut because you have expansion and then you have contraction. It's just simple economics. And I think we are going to end up with 20 or 30 different types of iPhone in crypto, and only 5 or 6 are going to make it. And that's why it's always useful to have a diversified portfolio. Talking of portfolios, we're going to get on to the $15,000 portfolio. And I am going pretty rapidly through the stream today because I know that we are going to get, or we're going to have an awful lot of time on the Jupiter launch. So I'm trying to get through it as soon as possible. Now, these are articles I pick out and I decide whether I agree with them or not. I just need to restart my app on my phone because it's just not refreshing. I can't see any messages. I don't know if anybody is here. Give me 1 second. So we go through these articles and we pick out whether we agree with their picks or not. And in this instance, I think this is pretty much teaching us to suck eggs, to be in all honesty. These are the 3 picks to buy before the Bitcoin halving. You scroll down. So of course, Bitcoin, you want to be holding Bitcoin in your portfolio. If you're new to crypto, if you've never watched us before, the most important thing you can do is give us a follow, smash the like button, subscribe, all of those good things, because we try our hardest to give you our honest opinion on things. Whether that's always 100% accurate or not is a different matter, but it's our honest opinion and that helps us sleep at night. So of course you need to hold Bitcoin before the halving. Bitcoin is more than likely going to 3, 4 or 5x over the next 12 to 18 months. So if you have $1,000 and you put it into Bitcoin today, there is a good chance you're going to have somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 in 18 months time. Now, even though it's not the 100 or 1000x growth that it's had in the past, you have to remember it's now an $850 billion asset. It wasn't that case 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So you've got to remember it's diminishing returns in terms of multiples. In terms of value, it's obviously going to have its biggest growth in value this cycle. In terms of multiples, it certainly won't. So Bitcoin should be in your portfolio. Ethereum should absolutely be in your portfolio. Everybody hears the expression, this time it's different. For Ethereum it is. I've said this before, it's now proof of stake. Previous bull run it was proof of work. It's proof of stake. As soon as the usage and as soon as retail comes back to crypto, Ethereum is going to become, what's the word? Deflationary. 0.5% a year, 1% a year. It's the biggest deflationary asset in crypto. Probably second would be BNB because of their burn, but Ethereum for me is the top dog as far as that's concerned. Now, what I would say to you is, and we're going to get to this in the portfolio, as I said a second ago, you need to diversify because something could go horribly wrong. Now, this is the one I don't agree with. Celestia. Yes, it is going to do exceptionally well, but the price is being not artificially held up, but the price is exceptionally high because if you stake Celestia, you qualify for so many different airdrops. So people are buying into Celestia, they're staking Celestia, and they're preparing for the airdrops. Of the three, if I had $1,000, I would put 400 into Bitcoin, 400 into Ethereum, and 200 into Celestia, because I believe more in Bitcoin and Ethereum than I do in Celestia. Even if Celestia does 20x in this bull run, and Bitcoin does 5x and Ethereum does 8x, I still would err on the side of caution and put the money into the top two assets. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is my opinion on what I would do. Now, I'm going to bring up this portfolio, and this is not this is not financial advice. I'm showing you this because this is a portfolio that we've held now for a year. We've held it for a year, and we show you warts and all how well it's done. So we put 15,000 into this portfolio on, I think, the first week or second week of January 2023, with the idea of creating a conservative portfolio that could potentially get us to $100,000 in the next bull run. So as you can see, the portfolio in the last year is up 55%. So it's gained half of its value, and we're just under $25,000. So for this portfolio to hit our first target of $100,000, we need to 4x from today until the end of the bull run. I think that's achievable with this portfolio. And as you can see, there is a very simple breakdown of, I think, is that all the coins on the page? Yeah, okay. So what we did was we built a portfolio, and the biggest two allocations were Bitcoin and Ethereum. As you can see, Ethereum is up 40%, Bitcoin is up 91%. They've done exceptionally well. The next bracket is the kind of the top tier coins, which I expected to do reasonably well. That was Cardano, XRP, and I think Chainlink was in there, or maybe Chainlink was one below. Then we went for ICP, Polygon, and Algorand. As you can see, Polygon and Algorand have severely underperformed compared to everything else in the portfolio. Good morning, Mohammed. Welcome back to the stream. I hope you are well. So, am I going to swap any of these coins out in this bull run? The simple answer is no, I am not. And I am not going to rebalance this portfolio. I know I talk about that a lot. The only time this portfolio is going to be edited is towards the end of the bull run, when I will start to sell off some of these assets. So if Bitcoin hits $150,000, I will start to dollar cost average out. The same with Ethereum. I will hold on a little longer for the alts, because the alt season normally follows the blow off top. So I'll probably sell the Bitcoin and the Ethereum first, and then the rest. But this portfolio is being sold at the end of this bull run. It will all be converted to cash. That cash will be kept to the side, hopefully earning 6-7% in interest. I will hold it for 18 months, and then we will re-enter, hopefully 30 or 40% down from where the bull run takes us to. And again, a lot of people, we ask you to send us your portfolios, and we will analyze them for you. You can see here we have 8 tokens in our portfolio. My advice is, if you have a $15,000 portfolio, you should be looking at about 10 tokens, maybe 12 at a push. And that should be your core portfolio. Now, there are other ways to do this. You can have a core portfolio like this. Then you can go and create secondary portfolios. You know, I mentioned this yesterday. Gamify, AI, meme coin tokens. Create a second portfolio and monitor the performance of that, because those are the coins you should be trading more often than not. These coins here, I mean, Algorand is going to do well in the bull run. It's signed up with the World Economic Forum. Polygon is the #1 layer 2 blockchain. It is going to pump. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go to $20. I am going to say it's going to go to hopefully $4 or $5, and that would be a 5 or 6x from here, which is more than enough for what we need. So this is a breakdown of a portfolio that we built based on a conservative approach to investing in crypto. Again, it's not financial advice. I want to stress that. It's very important. The other thing I need to mention about this is a lot of these tokens are staked. Ethereum, Cardano is staked. They're both earning a yield. So is Polygon. Algorand, I have staked on an exchange. I think that's paying about 4%. So from time to time, these prices will be updated and this content will be updated. And I think it's useful for you to see a portfolio that isn't full of bonk, Pepe, coins ranked in the 500s or 600s. I think it's useful to show you a conservative portfolio that can still return you 55% in the pre-bull run. Remember, last year wasn't the bull run. We only really kicked in maybe October last year. So for 10 months of last year, this portfolio wasn't doing too well. I think it was at $16,000 or $17,000. So just bear that in mind. You don't have to go chasing tornadoes. You can invest in coins. And is it too late to invest in these coins? Absolutely not. If you put $15,000 into this portfolio today, the chances are you're still going to walk away with anywhere between $50,000 and $75,000 at the end of the bull run if everything goes to plan. And it looks as if everything is going to go to plan. So that's the portfolio. I'm not going to look at it again, probably until the end of February, maybe. We'll check back in. And obviously, I'm never going to say never, but the chances of me changing this portfolio are slim. It would require, for example, if Chainlink ran from $15 all the way up to $100 for whatever reason, I would take a profit. I might sell 30% of my allocation, but I don't foresee any of those things happening. So short of there being a black or a white swan, that's a portfolio that I would recommend to a beginner that wants to get into crypto and hold fairly conservative tokens. Next up, we have JUP. Jupiter, whatever you want to call it, JUP. Good morning to you from Venezuela. I hope you are well. Remember, if you've got any questions, and I know a lot of you have got questions about Jupiter, if you've got any questions, ask them in chat. Over the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to talk you through the Jupiter airdrop. Now, I started making videos about Jupiter actually on November the 24th, 2023. That was 2 months ago. I started to make videos about Jupiter. Now, for those of you that don't know what Jupiter is, they have very kindly, let's close some of these things down. They have very kindly produced a list of features and things you need to know about Jupiter. It is the most used trading platform in DeFi, and that includes Uniswap. 80% of it is organic. What happens is when you use certain platforms on Solana, their swap engine will be Jupiter. So for example, if you go to Step Finance, which is a project, by the way, that a week today, where is what? I don't want to see my portfolio because that's going to give it away. Anyway, so on Step, when you do a trade, the trade is powered by Jupiter. The same with Bird Eye. So they are they have affiliated all of the platforms on Solana. The volume is up there alongside Uniswap. The volume of transactions is up alongside Uniswap, and we're going to get to that in a second. It's the most integrated platform on Solana. It's connected to all of the different DeFi. It's connected to Camino. It's connected to Step. It's connected to Orca. It's connected to a lot of other chains, and it's one of the top perpetual platforms. $1.4 billion in volume last week. So this airdrop that's happening today, I said it was the birth of a star. I think you could probably say it's the birth of a unicorn today. And unicorns come around very infrequently. They don't tend to happen very often. So the Jupiter airdrop is happening in a few hours from now. I don't know why it is not showing me the actual airdrop page. Hang on. Where is... Here we go. I think it's here. So this is the airdrop page of JUP. Okay, now last week we had the WEN airdrop. The WEN token was a meme coin. It was the first project to be launched on Jupiter. This is the second, and it's its own token. So as you can see down here, this is going to go live in 4.5 hours. So at 4 p.m, this is going to go live. This is my claim button where I can claim my JUP. And this, of course, is the allocation that I have got on this wallet. So it's the biggest project on Solana, in my opinion. It is up there. If we take a look at DeFi Llama and we look at the aggregators, which is what this is classified as. So it aggregates the different prices to give you the best offer. So if you look at the aggregator and you look at the volume of Jupiter, just compared to everything else, it dwarfs everything. It dwarfs 1inch network. You've got Kyber Swap on here. You've got, who else is on here that I recognize? Alternative Finance is on here, but these are small ones. It is the biggest by far of all of them. Now, the one question that people have been asking me is how do I claim, or why can't I claim this Jupiter airdrop? Now, as I said, I made the very first video on this in November 2023. The snapshot for this airdrop was the end of November 2023 for this airdrop. Now, the one thing to bear in mind, there are going to be 4 Jupiter airdrops in sequential years. In January 2024, 25, 26 and 27, there will be 4 airdrops. This is one of 4. If you have missed out on this airdrop, you do not need to worry, because as long as you create a wallet on the Solana blockchain, as long as you carry out a transaction on Jupiter to create a footprint or a breadcrumb of you on their platform, you will more than likely be eligible for the next airdrop. So you might have missed one, but think longer term. There's going to be 4. So you missed the first one, okay, you've missed it, but you could be new to crypto, don't beat yourself up. But create a footprint. Create a footprint on the Solana blockchain, whether it be Camino Finance, whether it be Step Finance, whether it be Jupiter. Create a footprint, because Camino Finance, I've made a video about that as well, that's going to have 4 airdrops this year at the end of quarter 1, end of quarter 2, end of quarter 3 and end of quarter 4. 4 airdrops this year. So just because you missed the very first one doesn't mean you shouldn't try and get the second, third and fourth one. Just you know, lots of people out there have missed this airdrop and there's a lot of very upset people, but you've got to understand these things at the beginning look back over time. This airdrop goes back to, I think, 2018 to 2021 or 2019 to 2022, something like that. So it goes back a long way. So don't worry about missing out on the first one. Now, the price. This is the key. Now, making sure I can get through this in as fast a time as possible. So I've tried to find a project with a similar profile to Jupiter. And that profile I've used is Uniswap. And Uniswap, ignore the price of $6.10 because the tokenomics come into play there. There's a totally different number of tokens available. on Jupiter than there are on Uniswap. So the price doesn't mean anything. What you need to look at is $1 million for Uniswap. Now, there is a very, very nice little app, and I'm going to get this wrong, so you got to bear with me. This is why I'm rushing through today, because I make mistakes, because a lot of it pre-prepare. So this shows you the price of A with the market cap of B. So if we go down here and we press on Uniswap, and we go here and we do manual. This is where it's going to go wrong, because I'm not going to be able to type this number in correctly. Wait a minute, let's work this one out. Wait. If I get this right first time, I want a round of applause. Okay, so this is... Yes, I've got it right first time. Okay, so if Jupiter gets to the market cap of Uniswap, which for me is the closest possible coin I could find. They're not identical. It's the closest thing I could find in terms of volume. It would give Jupiter a price of $3.84. Do I think this is going to happen? No, I don't think this is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is it is going to launch at about 40 or 50 cents, so $0.50. And there's going to be massive sell pressure, but that's going to be counteracted by the buy pressure of being listed on all the tier 1 exchanges. So I think we're going to have incredible volatility today, incredible volatility tomorrow, and then I think it's going to calm down. And I think the long-term target price of JUP should be $3, $3.50, something around that. That should be its target price. I think we will be good if we can get above $1. I think we will be doing exceptionally well if we get to $2 or close to $2 in the next week or so. So this is no small airdrop. Because at $1, it ranks Jupiter at $1.2 billion market cap, which again, I think is very small for what it does. It powers an awful lot of the crypto market. If we scroll down to, where are we? Here. So it would put it at about Algorand, Aave, around this price here. So at $1, there's 1.2 23rd position to find Uniswap. If market opens and it goes crazy and everybody wants to I'm not expecting it today, like I say. Now, the other thing I want to mention about it is, if you do have the airdrop, congratulations. But think about holding on to it, because what's going to happen is there's going to be multiple airdrops, and it's going to work a little bit like when you have a launch pool. So when you have a launch pool on one of the various exchanges that you have, that you're on at the minute, I'm not going to mention names, if you hold a certain number of tokens of that platform, you become eligible for airdrops. And I think this launch pool on Jupiter is going to give you multiple airdrops. I think everybody is going to want to launch on Jupiter. Now, a lot of people say, why would people give their coins out for free? Why do people want to do this? The same way they do it on all the big exchanges, because they want to become decentralized. If you've got a token where 90% of the supply of that token is held by one individual, it's not a very decentralized token, and that person can just dump on the market and kill it. So what you want to do is you want to take 60, 70, 80% of the supply of tokens, and you want to find the fastest and easiest way to distribute that across as many wallets as possible, whether it be 50,000 or 150,000 wallets. That's what you want to do. So that's why people will want to use the launch pool on Jupiter, and that's why you might want to consider holding Jupiter and you might want to consider staking it or finding a platform. I'm going to make a video about where you'll be able to stake your Jupiter, but I'm going to make it after the launch. It's going to be this afternoon. I'm going to make a video about where you can go and earn yield on your Jupiter tokens. So for me, this is the biggest thing to hit Solana probably ever. And there's a few other things that I want to mention is the 1.2 billion tokens that are airdropped. That's to an awful lot of wallets that no longer exist or no longer are in use. So today, it is very unlikely that anywhere near 1 billion of these tokens are generated. Maybe we could look at 400 or 500 million tokens. Now, 400 or 500 million tokens across all the top tier exchanges is going to cause chaos and mayhem. So expect, like I said, the coin could go to $5 and 20 minutes later it could go down to $1. Half an hour later it could be at 40 cents. 3 hours from now it could be at $4. We don't know. We just know that this is the most anticipated airdrop of the year so far, and it's going to create a unicorn. So I hope I've answered as many of your questions as possible about Jupiter. I'm just scrolling up now to see if anybody has dropped any comments about Jupiter into chat, and nobody has. Now, that doesn't mean that people haven't asked questions. I just can't see them. No. Okay, fine. So, remember, if you do have any questions you want to ask me directly, feel free to contact me. My Telegram details and all that kind of stuff is underneath the stream, so you'll be able to get hold of me later on. And of course, at 4 o'clock, I will be claiming my bag of JUP, and hopefully it will work, because there is another downside, is that I think the Solana network could very well crash today. I think it could come crumbling down today, simply because we're going to have maybe 100,000 people try and withdraw concurrently, and that's what I think is going to cause the problem. So, next bit of news, and this is, again, it's overshadowed by everything that's gone on. These articles should be front and center when we talk about adoption. So Visa enables crypto withdrawals on debit cards in 145 countries. MetaMask users can now sell crypto directly to a Visa card, which eliminates the need to use exchanges. So Visa is doubling down on cryptocurrency adoption by enabling another method to exchange crypto to fiat currencies without using a centralized exchange. So Visa has partnered with Web3 infrastructure provider Transact to introduce cryptocurrency withdrawals and payments through Visa Direct solution. The new integration allows users to withdraw Bitcoin directly from a wallet like MetaMask to a Visa debit card, available immediately. The integration enables one to exchange crypto to fiat and pay 130 million merchant locations where Visa is accepted. By enabling real-time card withdrawals through Visa Direct, Transact is delivering a fast solution. This is massive news. This is absolutely massive news. Remember, MetaMask is a non-custodial wallet. So if you hold your funds there, which I don't recommend, if you do hold your funds there, you will be able to use your credit card that you attach to your MetaMask wallet to pay around the world. It's massive news. The same way you can take money off MetaMask and deposit it straight onto your Visa debit card. It's incredible, incredible. The partnership allows users from 145 countries to directly convert at least 40 cryptocurrencies without relying on centralized exchanges. So this includes Cyprus, Malta, Singapore, Turkey, Portugal, and the UAE. I cannot believe this has gone through, and it's not front and center. It can only be ETFs that are keeping this off, because you don't really need to do anything. If you've got a debit card, you can now, through MetaMask, take funds from MetaMask to your wallet. It's massive news, absolutely massive news. And I think for those of you that have never used MetaMask, for those of you that have never used Phantom Wallet or Soulflare, I'd highly recommend going and getting yourself a non-custodial wallet just to test it, just to check it out, understand how seed phrases works, understand how you can, stake on chain directly from your wallet, just have a play around and learn that technology. Because, I'm not saying one thing we say on here is don't bring your money from the exchange you're on to a non-custodial wallet, because it's going to cause all kinds of problems. If you click the wrong link and you accidentally click on a scam site, they will take all of your money. So the best thing you can do is keep your money on an exchange like the one you're on now. 2-factor authentication, anti-phishing code, mobile phone, all that good stuff. Keep it there. Portugal is in there. Yep, MetaMask. I saw that. I'm going to have a look later on and see if I can actually connect my card up and see if I can withdraw. I'm not going to withdraw massive amounts, but it's a great way to get funds in and out of your bank account, thinking about it really. It's incredible. I cannot believe it's passed. I cannot believe they've managed to do this, because I know you need to attach a Visa debit card. I know that banking solution's done the KYC on you. I know all of that, but I don't know how they match up the MetaMask wallet with your credit card. I don't know how any of that works, but I'm sure they all know what they're talking about. Now, we've got 4 minutes left. We've managed to do it in time, and we've not brought up a single chart today. At the end of this, I'll bring up the Bitcoin chart and I'll show you the range we were in. I told you yesterday 44,000 was the target. That was the target, and we bounced. We got rejected. So this is the news that we covered at the very beginning of the show in the X-Files, and this is to do with the SEC dismissing the crypto case, in which the agency faces sanctions over materially false statements. Now, I cannot stress how important this is. A government body, not just any government body, the United States of America, the governing body, putting through materially false statements. It's shocking. These people are supposed to uphold the truth and provide protection to you. Now, you might not be in America, but your local government is in the same position. And your local government should not be lying in court just to win a court case. I cannot believe that Gary Gensler hasn't been sacked over this. It's appalling. Absolutely appalling. I can't bring it up. It's typical, isn't it? So what we'll do, thanks to Fortune for doing that, is we'll bring up Eleanor's tweet again, for those of you that missed it. The SEC has filed, here we go. So this is the article. Given this ongoing review, the Commission has determined that the best way to proceed is to dismiss this action without prejudice. Thus, the Commission has authorised the filing of a motion to dismiss the action without prejudice, which will be forthcoming. Now, the issue with this is, in my opinion, they should not be allowed to dismiss. The judge should quite rightly force the case through and force the SEC to present its falsified evidence, so the judge can decide on what penalties should be dished out to the SEC. Remember what the SEC have done. They have sued Grayscale. Oh, sorry, Grayscale have sued the SEC. The SEC have lost. XRP. They took XRP to court and they lost. Library. They lost. They won, but they lost. They mainly lost. The exchanges that they're up against at the minute, they're taking a couple of exchanges to court. They're going to lose at least one of those two cases. So they shouldn't be allowed to get caught. What's happened is they've been caught. They've been caught with their pants down. That's an expression where I come from. They've been caught with their pants down, and now they're trying to throw it out. Now, number one, who's going to pay the legal fees of Debtbox? Is that going to be the SEC? Are the SEC going to pay for that? Or is dismissing it going to dismiss their obligations to pay? All governments are more of the same. I would probably agree with you that I think certain government agencies, I think human beings on the whole, they get away. Just give me 1 second. I'll turn that off. There we go. Human beings go as far as they can without having repercussions. I think that's one of the issues. Is if you're in a country where your government agencies and your population have very lax laws or very poorly enforced laws, then you see a higher level of fraud, you have a higher level of crime. And you then go to the other extreme where you have governments that are very punitive in the way they crack down on civil liberties and things like that. Australia is a good example during the last pandemic. Now, the reason I think we have a lot of problems in the world at the minute are primarily to do with America. I'm not going to get political on it. But when you have a weak leader, the SEC, what's going to happen to the SEC when this court case gets thrown out? Nothing. So there's no consequence to Gary Gensler. There's no consequence to the SEC for doing this. So they can just keep doing it. They just keep taking companies to court. And what the government of America should be saying is, if you mess up and if you break the law, we are going to fire you and we're going to replace you with people that can do a better job. And that goes for everything. That goes for the forces, that goes for the SEC, that goes for the Commodities Commission. It goes for them all. They have no repercussions for their actions, and they're just suing people. John Deaton said that the SEC do not create legislation. They enforce via litigation. Well, that's not how it should work. They should create the rules and allow people to play by those rules. And if those people don't play by those rules, they should be fined. And that's the process. And what the SEC are doing is not providing rules, waiting for people to do things that they don't agree with, and then sue them. And then the court has to decide. We don't need this. This should never have happened. We should never have had the issues with the Bitcoin ETF. We should never have had the issues with the exchanges being accused of selling securities, because it's the SEC's job to create the playing field. The SEC is supposed to be the referee, and the pitch is laid out as the SEC is supposed to lay it out. And you get onto that pitch and you play a game by the rules. And what the SEC has done is say, right, I am no longer the referee. I am actually the opposition. And we're playing a game in which we know the rules and you don't. And when you score a goal, we're going to disallow it. And we're not going to tell you why we've disallowed it. And that's not how it should work. It's complete insanity. I cannot believe that the leader of the free world, if you still believe that, has such a corrupt system. It's incredible. And I'm not going to go off on a rant, because it's not that kind of show. But I'll just say one thing. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, his net worth before he came to office was, let's say it was $1 million. And he gets paid $140,000 a year as the leader of Canada. His net worth today, I can't remember if it's $34 million or $340 million. So as the Prime Minister of Canada, who gets paid $140,000 a year, he suddenly gained tens of millions of dollars from where? I don't know. Anyway, I can't talk about that. The SEC, unfortunately, is just politics and should have nothing to do with politics, but rather apply the rules. I totally agree. My issue is, and I will defend the Bank of England, the Bank of England are a separate entity to the government in the UK. And the government in the UK has zero say over the Bank of England. The Bank of England is a completely independent body. Now, whether you like them or not, or whether you agree with them or not, they are completely independent. And they set the monetary policy in the UK. They set interest rates. They keep liquidity flowing through the markets. They are professionals. But they have, if Rishi Sunak, the current Prime Minister of the UK, if he wants to say anything to the Bank of England, he has to say it in the press. And then the Bank of England will just turn around and say no or yes or whatever. So you need that separation. But you also need, in that separation, you need to make sure that the SEC play by the rules. The Bank of England know that if they don't play by the rules, or they are seen to be partisan, or they are seen to be doing things that are not in the best interests of the UK, they will get replaced. So there is always that threat over them, but they are independent from the UK government. In America, the SEC is so politicized that it's just a tool of the American government. And the Fed, Chairman Powell, is as close to what America has as an independent team. And the Federal Reserve, which is a private company, the Federal Reserve set the monetary policy in America, and they are as close to independent as possible. But they still get pressure to lower interest rates. They still get pressure to pump money into the economy. It's just the way it is. Right, I'm going to bring up the Bitcoin chart, and then we're going to get on to a quiz. I am very relieved that we have managed to do the show in the time that we had, because I did think I was going to overrun, which is why I kind of didn't do too many charts today, didn't overrun too much, wanted to get as much information as Jupiter out as possible to people. Remember, we make videos about all kinds of things. We make videos about wallets, we make videos about Jupiter, we make videos about airdrops, we make lots of videos. So just bear that in mind. We do try and telegraph information to you, but of course it's not financial advice, it's just our opinions. Now I'm going to just get rid of the Oracle's charts and bring up my charts and try and show you where we are. So you all know what this is. We are in this range, and this range, and went up a little bit, but we'll come back down. Oh, now we're there. And guess what? 44,000 and change, 44,200 is the top of this range. We came all the way up to just under 44,000. We got rejected. The bottom of this range is about 41,500, and we could very well do this. If you look, we've come down, we've come up, we're going to come down again. So I'm not worried that we've retraced $1,000 from here or whatever it ended up being. I do think we're going to move back up again. There is a chance that we see interest rates being cut in March. There are now odds on to be cut in March. So whatever happens, whether we go to 41,500 or not, we're going to be at 52,000 before you can blink. We could be at 60,000 by the halving. We could be at 100,000 by the end of the year. I know I'm saying the CUD word because I can't predict the future, and I don't like it when people put that into articles, but the scenario for me is up, not down, and that's the key. There is less news now that's going to take us down. We're going to re-challenge this price up here, which is about 48,000. This is where we need to break, and then when we break there, we are going to move up, hopefully to 57,500, which is close to 60,000. Like I said, this is the target area. It does require liquidity, but bear in mind, these ETFs, they are now pumping $1 billion a time into crypto. $1 billion a time. Over the course of a week, 5 billion. Over the course of a month, 20 billion. Yes, it's going to die off a little bit. Yes, it's going to slow down. But at this moment in time, they are trying to get as much crypto. They've already got 100,000 Bitcoin. It probably isn't going to take them 6 months to get another 100,000 Bitcoin. We're going to start to see a supply shock. But what we are going to do now is we're not going to talk anymore about crypto. We are going to do the quiz, because I need a drink of coffee, and I want to ask some quiz questions. Right, let's get cracking. Where are we? Where are we? 1 second. Let's go back to the chat. It's 11:55. We've probably got about 15 minutes left to ask some quiz questions. So you can all wake up now. The charts are finished. We'll start with the quiz. Let's get started. And what I am going to do as well is I'm going to turn one of the streams off at midday. And then, so I'll ask a question first, then we'll turn the stream off. So the first question is an easy one. And remember, I say this every day, and I know you don't listen to me, but if you don't listen, you don't win. I'm giving you both of the answers in the question. If you type it any differently to how I have worded it, you won't win. It's case sensitive. For the love of God, please listen to me. The Bitcoin halving, is it in April or is it in July? Now, before we go, or before we let one of the channels go, a week today at 7 p.m, we are going to do a giveaway. We did one, I think, was it last week? We're going to do another one next Wednesday. We're going to be giving away some tokens. I'm going to give you all of the information tomorrow. We're going to give away some tokens. It's going to run in the same format that we've run them all before. It is not a sponsored video. We are not being paid to do this. These tokens are coming out of our pockets and we're just giving them away because we try and do as many giveaways as possible. So we're going to do a giveaway a week today at 7 p.m. We are still going to do our streams at 11 o'clock every day, Monday to Saturday, 11 a.m. We're still going to do those streams. Brogan is going to do the simple signals trading streams Monday, Wednesday and Friday nights. So we have gone from streaming 6 times a week to now streaming 9 times a week. So there is a good chance that we might lose one of the morning shows because we want to start making more videos, because we get paid for making videos. We get paid in advertising revenue. We don't get paid to do the daily streams. So we need to balance out the daily streams with trying to make some money, especially at this stage of the bull market. So I hope you all got that right. Why has it not appeared? Typical. Absolutely typical. Let's go back in. There we go. Let's try. Oh, you're there. I think you all got the quiz question. I hope you all got it right. I can't see the answers. Next question. I wonder why that didn't appear. It just randomly vanished. Okay. Okay, next question then. Gary Gensler. Does Gary Gensler work for the SEC or does he work for the FBI? Gary Gensler, does he work for the SEC or does he work for the FBI? Now I see the question. There we go. I can see the question and I can see people answering. Remember as well, we're very low on likes today. Smash the like button. If you've answered the question, smash the like button a few times. Hit the like button twice if you want to see a 44,000 Bitcoin today. Smash it 3 times if you want to see a $50,000 Bitcoin today. So you need to smash the likes. That would be really useful. The other thing is make sure you follow us. We recently hit 90,000 followers across our different channels, which is incredible. So if you could follow us, that would be amazing. I would really appreciate that. 37 of you got that right. Gary Gensler does indeed work for the SEC. He doesn't work for the FBI officially. So, Waka, congratulations. One Master C is here. Crypto Leon is here. Congratulations. Tariq, welcome back. Eagle Wings, Crypto Vertigo, Cyberpunk Mary is back. Seen you for a while. Danny won. Kishan, congratulations. Andre and Ranchi, congratulations to you all. You got that right. So for those of you watching on one of the platforms, we're going to say goodbye.